Avani Bansal. It's a tricky situation to come in on, but basically the mood of the nation holds a very firm vote of no confidence in the leadership of the Gandhi family. The voters are telling you, get the Gandhis out, you'll find a solution. Everyone outside of the Congress seems to believe a revival of the Congress is possible without the Gandhi family.
Rahul, my reading of the mood of the nation and your survey is this, that, it just proves that you can fool some people sometime, you can't fool all the people all the time. And I think your survey clearly reveals that in a country where the predominant narrative is communal hatred, and here we have the Congress party, which is actually trying to strike a difference, which is trying to fight for an alternative politics really, which is making a stark difference from the BJP in the following manner. Number one, we are saying that, it's not one face, it's collective leadership. So the fact that you have 1, 2, 3, 4 names, people who are saying that, this can be a person to lead the opposition, to my mind is a very welcome sign, because it proves that the kind of politics that Congress is pushing for is finally making ground. The second thing, they're all about marketing, we're about governance. And if you look at the figures in the last 2021, we know that, for example, 17% of households have 8,600 rupees per monthly average income. 62% households are at about 14,400 rupees of an average monthly income. In 1 year, you've seen the gas cylinders go from 480 rupees to 1,000 rupees. For the first time, you're seeing in India that we have to put a ban on the export of weeds. You put down a slash of 55 lakh tons on the public distribution system. So in a country where Congress is fighting for people to pick up the real issues like price rise, issues like unemployment, issues like women's safety, I think it is a different kind of a politics. It's going to take time, but it's definitely gaining ground. And the mandate that your report has given, or your survey has given, I think is exactly a credit to that point. I think it also needs to be said that the numbers clearly show that Rahul Gandhi still remains, the most popular leader. And I think if there's somebody who needs to have cold feet right now, it's absolutely the BJP. Because as your numbers show, if the opposition were to come together, I think, BJP is seeing a clear exit door. So it's the way you look at these numbers. You can pat yourself in the back and say, we are still at the top of the game. Or you can say, there is trouble.
Rahul Verma, how are you reading the numbers? If you are listening to all of what we've been discussing, what does the big picture add up to in terms of finding someone who can take on Prime Minister Modi and the BJP?
Rahul, basically, one thing is clear, that BJP has managed to maintain its lead over the rivals. Second thing which is clear, that the Congress is down and out. Third thing which is clear, that there is a new star rising on the horizon, which is Aam Aadmi Party and Arvind Kejriwal. Other than this, basically all things are details. You can adjust your lens the way you want. But it's clear that, the new game which began sort of like in 2020 after Delhi elections is that, and then West Bengal in 2021, that Congress no longer remains the main opposition party. There are other challengers like TMC and Aam Aadmi Party which are going to go for the second spot. And so even this competition among the opposition, they of course want to defeat BJP, but they also want to emerge as a bigger player. This competition for the second spot among the opposition parties is going to keep BJP electorally buoyant for some more time. And this competition is basically going to fragment and divide the resources, which is basically going to prove detrimental to the Congress. So going forward, as Rajdeep also mentioned some time back, that now you are basically looking at a situation where Aam Aadmi Party is going to move to every state where Congress seems in a weak position and try to capture some of the votes. So even when there is some dissatisfaction with the BJP, the competition among the opposition parties is going to give them an advantage.
Which is not bad, RP Singh, from the BJP's perspective. If you don't know who you're fighting against, whether it's the Congress, the AAP, or the Aam Aadmi Party, or the Trinamool, you're happy because we are number one. You can keep fighting for number 2 and number 3. What are you making of all the numbers that we've put out so far, and the fact that Bihar seems to suggest that the BJP could be losing some seats in the overall national picture, and you've got Yogi Adityanath emerge as the number 1 chief minister nationally?
Well, there's no doubt that Yogi Adityanath is #1 Chief Minister nationally, because he is delivering on ground on all levels, whether it's law and order, whether it's employment, or whether it's the other sectors of the public concern. But that point aside, you were just, I could hear part of it, what you were mentioning about the numbers. As for number of within the Congress, I see Sachin Pilot at a good place, being although he hails from one state and he's just an MLA now, not even a minister, but still he holds a good ground, and it's a good message for Congress to replace the dynasty with someone who is emerging as a leader. I'm not recommending Sachin Pilot, but whoever emerges as a new leader,
if you recommend him, he's added.
So that there can
the last thing he wants is a BJP recommendation.
No. We never recommended him at that time, and it was the internal fight of the Congress, and which is still on within the Rajasthan. I mean, we all know the sort of governance Mr. Gehlot is giving. I mean, the lady was talking about the communal hatred. We all know what sort of communal hatred is being spread in Rajasthan, how appeasement of Muslims is being done in Rajasthan, and that's leading to a lot of problems in Rajasthan. So, and we have seen it last few months, we have seen it ongoingly happening every month and every now and then. But that's point to say, another 1 second. As for Mr. Kejriwal, I mean, all of you are rating him too high. What happened to Mr. Kejriwal in Uttarakhand? I mean, his Chief Minister candidate lost his deposit. I was in charge of Uttarakhand affair. His Chief Minister candidate lost his deposit. I mean, so I can tell it today that Himachal, they'll lose badly. I mean, I seriously doubt that they'll even get some votes to save their security deposits also. Same is case with Goa. What happened in Goa for Aam Aadmi Party? Sorry, accept Punjab, because there was a vacuum of Congress and Akali Dal. And take my word, next round we are making in Punjab. We'll be the party who will be there serving the people in next round in Punjab.